Daredevil Born Again returns for a new episode that escalates one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe show's biggest storylines so far and explores Wilson Fisk's intricate side of things. Daredevil Born Again Episode 3 was mostly focused on White Tiger's trial, with Murdock able to get him cleared of all charges, only for an unknown person using the Punisher's logo to shoot him in cold blood. That is followed up in Episode 4 in a huge way, as Daredevil Born Again's cast includes the MCU return of Jon Bernthal as Frank Castle, aka the Punisher. While Matt is preoccupied with White Tiger's murder, and how all that ties back to the Punisher, Wilson Fisk has his own problems to deal with in Episode 4. The MCU TV series has slowly been building up to a big reveal in the Atom storyline. Previous episodes made clear how important the mystery character was and how whatever Vanessa did with him had driven a wedge between her and Marvel's Kingpin. Daredevil Born Again has now revealed everything there is to know about Atom, with Fisk also having another problem to deal with as New York's mayor. Episode 4 Recap. Angela, Hector's niece, appears at the morgue to try to see his body. She cries about his death being unfair and hugs Matt. Muse debuts in full costume and carries a man who's knocked out along train tracks. BB and Daniel go to the club with another friend, and he lets information about Fisk's recycling ideas and the port slip. Matt finds a new case, Leroy Franklin, who stole 5 boxes of cereal. Heather says Wilson and Vanessa have to discuss the betrayal surrounding Atom. Vanessa reveals she was drawn to Atom by his hands and the art he drew. Wilson reveals he confronted Atom and said he could not have a life of meaning without Vanessa. Leroy asks if a Skrull could have done it. Matt says no. Matt charms Sophia from court and gets only 10 days in jail for Leroy. He finds Officer Powell there and confronts him about Hector's death, realizing Powell is not lying about not being part of it. Fisk wants to come out strong as mayor and completely restructure Red Hook, the city's Black Eye. Fisk's plans for Red Hook are leaked by BB. Daniel admits that the leak is his fault and claims he will always support Fisk. Fisk does not fire Daniel, but if he fails again, says it will be the last thing he ever does. Matt goes to Frank Castle because the shell case of the bullet that killed White Tiger had the Punisher logo. Frank claims Matt is not looking for his help, but permission to dish out punishment. Frank touches on Foggy's death and how Matt could not save him. Matt punches Frank but holds himself back after. Frank says he still hears his little boy when he stops moving. He says Matt does the same with Foggy, and he breaks down, crying. Matt says people like him and Frank can never match Foggy's decency. Vanessa tells Wilson about how Heather asked her if she was safe with him. Matt has a secret rooftop room with Daredevil equipment. Fisk has trapped Atom in a cage. Muse arrives in his lair where there are many twisted paintings, people hanging on hooks, and he is siphoning away people's blood. Atom's identity finally revealed. Atom was first mentioned in Daredevil Born Again's premiere episode when Wilson Fisk told Vanessa that he knew about him. She replied, asking Fisk not to kill Atom. Episode 4 has revealed that Fisk is a man of his word, though he might have omitted some important elements. After having started to go to couples counseling with Heather Glenn as their therapist, she urges the two of them to open up about Atom in the MCU series' latest episode. It is finally spelled out that the character's role is part of a betrayal, with Vanessa having cheated on Wilson. Heather thinks no healing can happen to their broken marriage unless the Atom issue is addressed, so Vanessa explains how she was drawn to him in the first place. Atom's hands and the art he drew were what caught her eye. Ayala Zura's character was feeling lonely and abandoned by Wilson Fisk after he left to heal from the gunshot inflicted on him by Echo. She explains more about her backstory. Vanessa's father spent weeks away for work every month. Vanessa claims during their therapy session that Wilson leaving her behind felt like her father abandoning her all over again. Fisk then explains how he and Atom came to face off-screen. He says that he confronted Atom and told him he could not have a life of meaning without Vanessa. However, Daredevil Born Again's first 3 episodes teased there would be more to that story than that. After all, Fisk had bloody knuckles in the episodes and no explanation was given for them. Daredevil Born Again Episode 4's ending takes care of that, revealing that Kingpin kept his promise to Vanessa. Atom is alive. However, he is injured and imprisoned in a cell underground, receiving periodic visits from Fisk. The Punisher's MCU Return. Jon Bernthal's Punisher was one of the best parts of Netflix's Daredevil, which is why the excitement for his return after it was announced was through the roof. The actor delivered the layered performance that fans expected from him, with the Punisher's MCU Return connecting to White Tiger's murder and the dirty cops. While Frank Castle only makes his Daredevil Born Again debut in Episode 4, the character's presence had been felt before he appeared on screen. Crooked cops have Punisher tattoos, looking up at Frank as some sort of symbol, with White Tiger murdered by someone wearing the Punisher's logo. After Matt finds the shell case from the bullet that killed White Tiger, he realizes that it has the Punisher's logo. This takes him to Frank, who has gone underground, using an abandoned facility as his new base of operations. Frank pays no mind to copycats, which angers Matt. Their reunion turns emotional when Frank forces Matt to confront his feelings over Foggy's death. He knows which buttons to press. Matt lashes out, punches Frank, and later starts to cry after Frank talks about his dead son and how Matt misses Foggy. The door is open for the Punisher's return. Why Matt Murdock's client asks if a Skrull could have done it. After taking on such a high-profile case as White Tiger's trial in Episode 3, Matt has a very different task this week. He represents Leroy Franklin, a low-level criminal with an extensive rap sheet who was now taken in for stealing 5 boxes of cereal. Before Matt manages to get him only 10 days in prison, Leroy asks him if a Skrull could have done it, as he maintains that he did not steal the cereal. Skrulls have not appeared so far in Daredevil Born Again, but they played a key role in a few MCU movies and series. The Skrulls are shape-shifting aliens who were introduced in Captain Marvel. The Disney Plus series Secret Invasion followed Nick Fury as he discovered a major Skrull invasion of Earth and stopped it. At the end of the show, the President of the United States declared that all alien life on Earth was to be treated as a threat, with the Skrull invasion being public knowledge. Daredevil Born Again pokes fun at how the citizens of New York see the situation, with Leroy arguing that a Skrull could have pretended to be him to steal the cereal, which Matt knows is false. Daniel's mistake and Wilson Fisk's response. Daniel has shown in the first episodes of the series that he looks up to Wilson Fisk and is devoted to helping him be the best mayor New York could have. That is why his actions in Episode 4 are surprising. Daniel goes out to a club with Bibi Urich, who is Daredevil Born Again's recurring reporter. The pretext is that the two are friends, just hanging out, but Bibi has an ulterior motive and manages to get Daniel to slip after a few drinks. He reveals to her details about Fisk's recycling ideas and the port. The leak leaves Fisk mad, with the mayor sternly talking to his whole staff, demanding that the person behind the leak come forward. Despite knowing that he would likely get fired, Daniel steps up and reveals the leak was his fault, and even though it was an accident, he claims he understands if Fisk fires him and will always support him. Interestingly, Fisk does not fire or kill Daniel. However, he makes a clear threat that if Daniel does something like this again, he will die, showing that Mayor Fisk still has his Kingpin blood in Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil Born Again episodes stream on Disney Plus weekly every Tuesday,